Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this FLW video. Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't a show that we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at the wide roster. We have like 80 people, so this video is going to be a little bit long. But we're not really. It's probably only going to be like 15-20 minutes at the max. But we're just going to go over everybody that's in the roster, guys. And you guys can comment. Let me know who you want to see in 2K19, or in FLW, sorry. In this roster. If you guys have anybody on PS4 that you want to add, want me to add to FLW, I still have some roster space and I can get it in. I'm gonna have actually a very limited roster space because I'm gonna be bringing in some more women wrestlers. So I'm gonna only have like maybe 4 or 5 roster spaces available. After I'm done that, I'm already at 86. So yeah. Anyways, guys, let's get this started. First up, the first roster member up here is Aaron Balmer. Now, he actually technically made his debut already. He was in the FLW Battle Royal Dark Match the first ever show. Next here is Aaron. We have 2 Aarons. We have a lot of guys with the same last names for same first names. Oh well. Aaron Montano. There he is. Next up, we have the winner of the first ever Dark Match Battle Royal, the Inhumane Specimen, Ace Jordan. Next we have a women's wrestler, Eri Muto. Oh, yeah. Next up we have the Asian Nightmare, Akira Wang. You don't get to see this guy's face, but ladies and gentlemen, this is Alex Dangerous. We have a couple Alex coming up now, but the next Alex being Alex Eclipse. Kind of like him. He's pretty cool looking. He'll definitely be debuting soon. Next up, we had a man who had a really good showing in the first 8-man contention battle royal that we just had. Alex King. Another man in the second one who had a pretty good showing and lasted quite a while. We have the natural Andy Douglas. Next up, we have the Irish ass kicker, Andy Steele. He definitely kicked around Scott Bailey Wonderboy's ass. Next, we have Brandon Miller. Yet to make his debut. A lot of guys you're going to notice have yet to make their debut. Next, we have Blake Evans. Kind of looks like Josh a little bit from Tough Enough. I've noticed. But yeah, it's Blake Evans. Next is Brad Alexis. Bram Morgan, one of the biggest guys we have on the roster. Because this roster just consists of a lot of light heavyweight guys. So he's one of our bigger guys, even though he still moves like a light heavyweight, even though he's a heavyweight. Next up, we have your lady's favorite wrestler, hashtag Mr. Hot AF, Cameron Rose, one of the men who's going to be in the Fatal 4-Way FLW World Championship match. Next up, we have Chance Winters, yet to make his debut. Charles Storm, also yet to make his debut. He must be ready. We have a man who was in the Fatal 4-Way semi-main event. Great showing. Chase Henderson. Next up, we have Chris Hughes. Definitely an interesting individual. Chris Young. This guy, he looks pretty ready for his debut. Careless Christopher Clarence, a man who, you know, he had a good showing in the tag match. However, his partner, Marcus Gold II, cost his team the loss. Next up, we have Colt Cooper. Another man yet to make his debut. Colt Wilson. Deshaun Shaw, he was in the first contention battle royal. He was the first eliminated, but he had a pretty good showing for the little bit he was in. Deshaun Shaw. Next we have Darrell Marcus. I believe he was in the Dark Match Battle Royal. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Next we have one half of the Beatdown Boys, Davis Jackson. We have another man who was in one of the 2 Battle Royals, Deontay Wolf. Doug Van Draven. He looks pretty serious. Drake Ward. 1/3 of Pretty Boys Incorporated, Dre Cross. Next up, Dwayne Landon. There he is there. He was in one of the Battle Royals. El Tigre Rojo. Next up, he was also in one of the Battle Royals, Elias DeMarco. This guy was on the first ever show, had an impressive showing against one of the other men on the roster. This is Gabriel Phelps. He'll be obviously making his return very soon. Gabriel Ray, very intimidating looking individual. This guy was in the Dark Match Battle Royal. He wrecked all kind of havoc. He's actually one of my favorites from that Battle Royal. Haku Chiang, the what was he? What'd I say he was? Mongolian. He's the first and only Mongolian wrestler in full limits wrestling. Here we go. The man who just has bad luck following him everywhere he goes. He, you know, in a dark match on the first ever FLW show, he fought Victor Wolf. And it wasn't the dark match, sorry, it was the dark match battle royal, but there was a match before for FLW. It was an FLW related match where he faced another roster member, Victor Wolf, and he was beating Victor Wolf's ass all over the place. But Victor Wolf, out of nowhere, 3 suplexes, his crossfire crossface, Tolton tapped out of nowhere, and then he was the first eliminated in the dark match battle royal in quite quick fashion, and then he got destroyed by Michael McGee, the High Flying Hulk. Yeah, so far not a lot of luck for Henry Tolton. I'm going to call him Bad Luck Tolton right now. Next up is this monster, Hunter Moore. Now you won't see a lot of Hunter Moore. He's the CEO of FLW's bodyguard. If anyone messes with the CEO, Hunter Moore will follow close behind. Yeah. Anyways, one of the men who was in the first, the 2 battle royals, it is Jackson Thornhill. Here's another guy. This is Jacob Sawyer, yet to make his debut. He was in the dark match battle royal though. This is Jarrett Caesar. He's a big guy. He is the Greek god, Jarrett Caesar, of course. 1/3 of Pretty Boys Incorporated. Here is Jason Alpha. He was in the Battle Royal. Here's a man that was in the semi-main event Fatal 4-Way. He kind of got his ass handed to him though. This, of course, ladies and gentlemen, is JW. Next up is another J here. He was in the main event of the last show. He had a pretty good showing, but came up short. And to the Fatal 4-Way FLW World Heavyweight Championship match, Jay Piper. And we have one other J. This one with 2 Y's to make himself different. J Pierre from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. J Pierre. Next up we have a extremely young athlete. I think he's only like 19 or 20. This is J.D. Bailey. We have 2 Baileys as well. Here we go. Skyrocket Johnny Fox. Here he is, yet to make his debut, but he is anticipated. He was telling me how anticipated he is. Here's another guy. This is Jordan Nicholson. Oh, the Cuban sensation, Juan Martinez. You know, he came up short against Gabriel Phelps. Maybe looking for some redemption or something in the future. Who knows? Callan Inferno lost to Leonardo something. Leonardo Finch. I don't know why I couldn't think of the name. But yeah, but that's not going to be the last we see of Callan Inferno, as he is the official roster member, of course. Another half of the Beatdown Boys. It is Knockout Kenneth Evans. Next up is the colorful man who was in the Dark Match Battle Royal. I think he was actually the first eliminated. It is KJ Banks. Next up is another international signing. And he's pretty young. He's only 22 years old. He is Kwan Sakamoto. There he is. The cocky and arrogant Leonardo Finch. And next up, another signing from the UK. Because I think we signed 2 UK guys. Zach Thompson. And this guy, Lewis Adamson. He's an exciting talent. I can't wait for him to debut. I think he's still coming overseas. Anyways. Next up, a man who has yet to debut, but he's waiting in the shadows for his debut. It is a very scary individual, and the biggest man I think we have on our roster, Luther Hunt. Look out for him, guys. Of course, the man who cost Careless Dynasty their victory, the richest man in FLW, Marcus Gold II. Next up, another man who was in one of the Battle Royals this past show. It is Youngblood Mark Knight. Next up here is a grizzled vet. He's been wrestling for like 12 years now. It is Martin Guerrero. Next up, here comes another one of the women. She came up short against Sanga Collins. She had a pretty good showing. It is Mary Martin. And here he is. Probably one of the men who have the most talk behind them. It is the High Flying Hulk, Michael McGee. Up next is a man who plays no games. Yet to make his debut, but he will. And when he does, look out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mike Adonis. Next up is the man who, one of the two men who opened up FLW's first ever match. It is Maiko Hernandez. There we go. Percy Jones. There's Percy Jones. Apparently he has a minor head injury. That's not good. Next up, Primo Valiante. There is Primo Valiante, the winner of the past Fatal 4 we just had. That featured JW himself, Chase Henderson, and of course, man we'll see later, Brian Page. He's the Italian stallion. Next up, Ricky Lynch, yet to debut. I don't even remember downloading him, but pretty cool looking actually. So yeah, Ricky Lynch. And there's what the man that we were just talking about. There is the hard-hitting, the man who doesn't give a fuck about your health. It is Ryan Page. And of course, the man who had a very underwhelming debut, Wonder Boy Scott Bailey. Oh dear. And here is the Platinum Blonde, the high-flying man, the man who did come up short in the Battle Royal, but that's not the last we're going to see of him. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Sean Ali. Yeah, I enjoyed some Sean Ali. So far, that's half the roster, guys. More than half the roster, actually. We actually cleared out pretty much more than half. We only about have, like, probably actually less than a quarter of the roster left to go here, to be honest. Next up, the Street Fighter. It is Sean Tanaka. Of course, we have an international signing who made his debut, and he actually lasted quite a long while in the Battle Royal. It is Senshu Lee. Next up is a man. He's a worldwide known talent. He's got a big name behind him, but he came up short against Michael McGee. But he, of course, will be back. It is Seth Walker. Next up, he faced Sean Tanaka and came up short. Actually got killed in the end of the match. Sean Collins, the Steel Spitter. Next up is another international signing from Japan. We went to Japan and we brought in a bunch of these guys that we liked. Here is Shima Ko. Next up is a man who Gravity, I guess forgot in a way. And it is Toby Ace. Another man here, straight out of looking like a reggae singer. It's Tom Jarrett. And here's a man with a cocky attitude, a cocky persona, but he loves it. He is a legend in his own right. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's Ty Legend. And here we go. One of the 4 guys in that FLW World Heavyweight Championship Fatal 4-Way. The man that nobody thought, I think, was going to win. Because he was the smallest dude in the match. And yeah, but he won. It's Mr. Amazing Tyler Gray. Next up, we have a luchador, another one. If you thought LT Grey Rojo was the only one, it's not true, because we also have here Ultimo Santana. Next up, we have the man we were talking about, defeated Henry Tolton after getting destroyed the whole time, but then he came back and won. From the UK, it is Victor Wolf. Here's another signing of a woman that we've yet to see. She will be taking on the other one. It is Victoria Emerson. We're getting to the nitty-gritty end here as we come across Vincent Garrett. We have a lot of Garretts, I've just realized. That's okay. Vincent Garrett. And next up here is a man who has a no-play attitude. He didn't really ever make a name for himself until he went to Japan, and now he came back to North America and he found himself in FLW. Here he is, guys, Wade Virgil. And here's the last man in that Fatal 4-Way FLW World Heavyweight Championship match. From overseas, please welcome Zach Thompson. And they have two more people. For some reason, he's there. I don't know why. Anyways, we have the baddest bitch in FLW, Zangia Collins. And finally, our last man on the FLW roster. For some reason, he's at the bottom of the list, even though he starts with an A. It's Austin Blade. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed our wide range of talent on this roster. I'll give you updates to anybody else we sign in the future, but damn, do we even need anybody else? I mean, we have a really solid roster here of men willing to do anything to become the next FLW Championship, and women willing to do anything to get noticed and become the first ever FLW Women's Champion when we do bring that in. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.